Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Rednauer, and I'm the co-chair for the sponsorship committee with Great River Human Resources. And today I have the privilege of speaking with Laura Ford, who is Senior Consultant of Human Resources and Leadership Development with Gallagher, and also a very long-standing member of GRHRA. How are you doing this morning, Laura?
Doing great.
That's fantastic. So Laura, and for those of you who are listening today, we'll be putting on GRHRA's Ignite HR Hot Seat, which provides an opportunity to learn more about our members. And so Laura, are you ready to participate in the hot seat this morning?
Let's do it.
All right. So Laura, as I understand, you've been a very long-standing member of GRHRA. In fact, as I understand, you're one of the founding members. So my question for you is, what's changed most from when GRHRA was once founded to date in your eyes? And also, what is the most exciting thing that you've noticed that we've been doing recently?
Asking me how old I am without asking me how old I am, right?
We're 29. We are 29.
Great River, I believe started in about 1990. I was early in my career then, and there was a Quad City Personnel Association. So yeah, it was a while ago. And a group that wanted to start a new professional organization because the old one did not allow vendors, consultants, temporary agencies, like it had to be just an internal HR practitioner. And this group really wanted something that was more inclusive as our profession was changing. So a few of us, and it was not my idea, but I came along for the ride as a few folks started the new Great River HR Association. And there was some question as to whether we could be SHRM affiliated since the other group was. And so conquered those hurdles, started Great River with, probably 15, maybe 20 folks. And to see the rapid growth has been super exciting. Obviously, things that have not changed are the idea of continual professional development and finding a way to network with other members, having the opportunity to volunteer. And I really think so many of my leadership lessons learned were as a volunteer within Great River and then state council. Yep. And there was a different structure where I was able to volunteer on the national level as well, and just made great colleagues and got to know a lot of folks. And so what's changed, I think, is just the way that Great River does that, right? The mission has stayed the same, but being able to connect with meetings on a technology basis, having those recorded, being able to join virtually or having a mix. And then also a way to get to know and build your network through technology like this versus just face-to-face meetings.
Yeah, so I've been on the board for roughly 4 or 5 years now, and so yeah, I started right when it started to bridge to that technology, and as is the case with everybody out there, COVID really kind of ramped that up tremendously, and I think we've made some great strides there, and it's exciting hearing what it was like back in the early 90s. Is that when most of the other chapters started popping up equally, or did you see the growth just be sporadic?
No, I think many of the other chapters, at least in Iowa, had already made the transition to allow for different kinds of practitioners to join. And so I think like the Eastern Iowa chapter and certainly the Des Moines chapter, they were up and running by then and didn't need any transition. They just kind of changed their bylaws. So we did just a slightly different path here in the Quad Cities.
Yeah. Well, you certainly did it right. So we actually have some of the highest membership in the entire state and followers on LinkedIn. So it's been exciting. Awesome. How things have changed recently. So Laura, next question I have for you, in your opinion, what is one main thing that you feel people in your industry, HR, should stop doing, and what should they start doing instead?
Yeah, so my career's been an interesting one. I've been in and around HR for my entire career. Started as a practitioner, then had a consulting practice for about 16 years, New Avenues here in the Quad Cities. Went back internal at Augustana College, and almost 2 years ago joined Gallagher. There's about 300 of us that are in the GRHRA Human Resources and Compensation Consulting business. So I think things that, as I work with HR professionals, that today we need to stop doing is consider the things that we did 5 years ago that worked great, probably are never going to work again.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of work in leadership development, and things that I trained leaders on 5 years ago and giving opposite advice. And so I think what we need to start doing, all of us, is really embracing empathy and starting with understanding and listening and kind of supporting emotional well-being. But we have to link that with accountability, right? And so one doesn't live without the other. But I think when we start with empathy and then link that to accountability, that's where the power is. And work with a lot of clients that struggle with that empathy piece and a lot that struggle with the accountability.
Yeah.
So to me, that's kind of the, I don't know, magic formula. If only that would solve everything, but essential in what today's workforce expects and needs in the workplace.
No,
so then, gosh, the start piece, I find that using empathy can be exhausting, that as I am connecting with people and understanding what's going on in their lives. So I think we need to start really a focus on resiliency building and what are those habits at work and things that I do every day that build my personal resiliency. Because if your HR folks are burned out and withdrawn and stressed out, really impossible for us to be supporting those in our workplace. And I find many of the HR folks have these incredible work ethics and this service orientation and aren't spending enough time to build their own resiliency with some self-care and taking time away and all those things in order to be effective in the workplace.
Yeah, they want to take on everybody's problems, but then you have to take care of yourself at the same time. So
yeah, I think it's never been a harder time to be an internal HR practitioner than it is right now. That these are, we thought COVID was tough, and it was, but now as we're figuring out kind of what is the right mix and how can we attract, retain, and motivate our talent internally, it's uncharted territory, and it's rough right now.
Yeah. So Laura, last question I have for you today. So I'm very big on morning routine. I feel that it sets the tone for my day and sets the tone for success in my day. So I would be curious, what does your morning routine look like?
My morning routine may be a little different at this stage in my career. I have a very simple life with nobody. Well, I have a husband at home, but no kids at home. So I think about what my morning routine used to be. I've really embraced the word of the year movement. Don't know if you've heard of that, kind of the focus word instead of just goals.
Yeah.
What's my focus for the year? And so I start my morning. I also have a weird internal clock that's really strong. So I almost always wake up about 5 minutes before my alarm goes off.
Same.
And so I try to spend those 5 minutes really focusing on my word this year, and then setting my intentions for the day. So not just at work, but everything that's going on. How am I going to stay focused on what's important? And having that 5 minutes of kind of before I check my phone, do all the things, just to center and focus on what's important. It's been just a great addition to my morning routine that then involves coffee and Wordle and taking the dog out and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, so I would completely agree with that, because goals can subtly change as we go along, but that word always stays a constant, and so I can completely relate to that. And mine, more or less, is I go to the gym every single morning, and I just try to just have like an open mind for the day and just get refreshed, and it's worked wonders for me. I've been doing it for so many years. I can't even think back when the last time I didn't go to the gym in the morning. So,
awesome.
well,
I love that kind of the habit building through atomic habits, that just those small things that are sustainable over time. And I've started to incorporate my focus word into all my passwords. So, my computer goes to sleep, have to restart it. And so typing that focus word also kind of brings it back to me. It's always looking for ways to just stay focused on what's important.
Hopefully you're using all those special characters and all of that too. So if
Yes,
somebody
it's
figures
only
out your
part. Yeah, only part of the password. And the first time I did a focus word, gratitude was my focus word. And that
Yeah.
is a lot of letters and a lot of typing. And so
Yeah.
now, I'm like, is this something that I'm going to be able to reliably type every year? Becomes part of the, calculus of choosing that word.
Or it's one of those websites that we have to go to regularly for work purposes, but then they want you to change it every 30 days.
Yes. Yes.
So, well, Laura, thank you very much for participating in the hot seat today. And for those of you who may newly be watching this, if you're interested in learning more about GRHRA and our members, just please check us out at www.grhra.org. And we're more than willing to welcome guests at any of our virtual or in-person events coming up. So, Laura, thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Keep up the great work at Great River. You guys are doing awesome work, and hopefully I'll catch you in person at a meeting soon.
All right. Thank you.